And as you saw in the unboxing, the came with obviously the manual on how to put it together. And it also came with should there be any problems with the parts, like if some was missing or it was damaged or you need some extra part that was broken in the process of building this thing. They do have this price list, but I don't know if it excuse me, I don't know if it applies to those outside of China or Hong Kong. I was reading through the warranty but in any case, it's here. Yeah, it's here. Here we go. Looks like it's just China, mainland China, Hong Kong. I could be wrong, of course, but it seems to be it only applies to these two places. So, in any case, it's good. Something good to know. Alright. Okay, here we go. Take a look at all that detail there, detail upon detail. Where there is for the eyes, LED the eyes. But this thing is so detailed. Every part that's tacked on onto another is just a separate part unto itself. It's like it's really, you know, I have no words. I've never actually seen a figure like this where they just, yeah, it's almost without words. I didn't expect this level of detail when and even when I was watching the other reviews on this thing, you know, it's, even though they did describe what they did, it's not really that you realize that what they were saying is just so accurate. I mean, hydraulics, whatever, this part of pistons, what have you, you know, it's just amazing. Some of the legs as well. Wheel stern, fingers can be fully articulated. All those are all separate parts. All those joints, those. It's just awesome to behold. It's just, you know. Here we are with lit LEDs, eyes. I almost second guessed myself whether I should have, instead of applying the black electrical tape, I could have just painted it matte black, but whatever. It's done. What's done is done. Now, I don't know if I probably mentioned before, but I would have wanted to use the not induction magnets, LED lights, where you could activate it through magnets. But the problem with that is that the batteries don't last as long as what I sell with 2 AA batteries. And a lot of experimenting through this experimentation to get that light bleed out of there. So again, I'm quite pleased with how that is. Now the lighting solution and the wiring solution came from Evan's Design. It was recommended through a friend of mine, and I could have done my own switches, but you know what, they already had their own. They provided the adapter and the wiring switches, so I just went with that, and it's pretty much very simple. Right, here's your battery itself, then you have your adapter right there, and the LEDs obviously have your positive and negative black. So just, you know, connect your positive to positive, negative to negative, and then match it up with the connector, black to black, red to red, and voila, you're hooked up. Right, so so cool. So cool. Let me just tear off the lights here. Oops, sorry. So okay, so that is okay. There's some details I overlooked when I assembled the weapons. For one, the blaster ion itself, the cartridge. I'm not sure if I did show you, but it does come off, remove, and back on. This one also, the grip does pull back, and the scope does go up, as if you're getting ready to go into battle, right? But it also serves a double purpose in that when I did the that video where it was handling the gun, you saw it slipping because it wasn't unlike the battle axe. There was like a up here where you could tab into the hand, but this actually does have one as well, a tab, and I had overlooked that one. Actually, I didn't even know about it. So what you would do is you open this back here, and this one would fall out. Pull it down. There's your tab. There. Close this, and now this can attach to either left or right hand, because there's a hole on each hand, and that'll hold the gun in place. And yeah, and I will demonstrate that again, but this time with a few more details that other builders had found there were problems because the arm wouldn't stay up, but in my case it does, and I'll explain that a few moments from now. Okay, so as you can see, it does hold up. I've seen other builders where the arm would immediately sag down at the weight of the gun, but as you can see, in my case, it doesn't. Prior to that, though, it did. And the thing that I noticed was that this is all possible due to the fact that I had glued the shoulder portion to the arm connection. It was the reason I did that was because every time I went to remove the arm, the arm would detach from the shoulder very easily. As a matter of fact, one of the pins on the connector on the shoulder broke, because as I was pulling it out, I don't know how it somehow twisted or something, but what happens is, the arm would come out and then it would detach from the shoulder several times, and eventually that led to that pin failing. It's a really small pin. It's just one of the minor things that gives this thing a negative that I can critique of this thing. So what I did was I glued it both sides, and because of that, it's actually much stronger. And obviously, when I remove the arm, it stays in one piece. So again, okay, so I suppose I could suggest that, advise, if there were those other guys, to glue those two parts together. It actually just strengthens it. Now, it's not just these two parts I had glued. There are also other parts that I would also suggest gluing. Only parts that would not interfere when you're with the articulation of the model, of the arm, leg, or whatever it may be, because those things tend to pop off. So those that that didn't play a huge role, or not at all, to the movement of the arms, legs, or whatnot, I glued it down. I would suggest that you would, if you were to build this as well, I would suggest that you glue those things down at your discretion. Because some of these things do pop. It is, after all, a model kit, so it will pop out. For instance, this one here does sometimes pop out when removing the arm, but this is essential. I can't glue that one down because, as I will show later, pulling this down is essential for the maximum movement of the arm. Excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice here. But yeah. So here you go. That is. I'm probably going to see if let's check out the X, because in this case you also have to pull it back a bit at the back in order to have that back support. If it's like bent, if it's bending forward, I found that it'll obviously topple over. So again, it depends also on the posing and how you. Anyway, we'll try with a battle axe, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, here we go. the two weapons is probably better for one to be on up in this case, just to balance it out. So yeah. So cool. Alright. Here he is with his eyes on. Obviously I can't let it spin, otherwise my coaster is small, so besides it's also not as stable. The feet anyway. There you go. I was just going to also mention, eventually I'm going to put electrical wires, because I don't want between these two, because I don't want those two wires to touch, or it's going to short circuit. Yeah. But yeah, I'm aware of that, so. Okay. Okay, one of the things Yolopark included was the matrix of leadership. Although it was never seen in the Bumblebee movie, they included in this model kit, and it's as all fans know, it's located in this chest. Let's just pull these things back just a bit. Let's pull these back a bit. Actually, pull it forward. My bad. Move it forward so it'll open more. Let me just do the same thing with this. 1 second here. 1 second here. There you go. Forward and pull this one down. This was up initially. Pull this one down. So you can see it's already there. Pull this out. This should, unless I'm doing something wrong here, it should actually go down and fold inside. Second. Well, in any case, there you go. This one should. There's your matrix of leadership there. It's funny, when it goes to shooting the video, I can't put this one in. Go figure. Ha ha ha. But anyway, yeah, anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, this would shoot inside, and for the life of me, I can't do it now. Cannot do it now, what can I say? Anyway, there it is. Alright, so alright. Next up will be showing a bit more of the articulation of the arms and legs. Again, I missed some parts. Some of the details I didn't know about certain parts that would greater enhance the articulation. That's coming up next. Okay, draw your attention again to the arm. Again, just note all the details on this thing. All this details is one after, tacked on one after another, over and over. It's just amazing. And all this actually is not lost, even though it's covered, because what happens is, although you can bend this almost 90 degrees or just past 90 degrees, you can even bend it further by pulling this thing down. This one tends to pop out, but that's one of those things that you should never ever glue. By pulling this one down, you could bend the arm even further, but check these out there. You can see that pull out. And again, more of the details here, the articulation. It's just awesome. Really great. Yeah, let's do it again. Now, I noticed in none of the reviews that I've seen where we're saying that you have to sort of push this one in, help it go back to its natural position. In my case, I didn't find it to be in my case. And this one here would have to be, you had to sort of like pull this thing back. Only because it has to be, you know, precisely put in, installed. So for me, it was not an issue for this to go back, slide in naturally. I've seen those guys have to push this thing down when they're straightening up the arm, but in my case it wasn't. As you'll see here, see there, it goes back naturally. So it has to be done it has to be done properly, otherwise it's going to stick. And that's actually what happened when I did the right arm. I redid it after seeing how well this one worked, because I didn't do it properly with the right arm, so I took it apart and did it again, and it works just as well as this. So yeah. Earlier I mentioned that I had to glue parts of this, and this was the part I was referring to. This is the shoulder part, and this is the arm. Now, just pull this one. I think I can pull this thing out. Yeah, I can pull this thing outwards. This one actually was part of the articulation part. This here, this is part of the arm. This connects to this part here, which is rather, it was kind of flimsy in the sense that it was, in my opinion, wasn't engineered properly. So I glued this to this part here, because when I was taking this thing off, this part would detach easily from this, and that was I didn't like that. Again, there were only 2 pins here and here, and that other pin broken with the right arm. So after having seen that and how easily these things came apart when you're taking out the arm from the body, I decided just to glue it. Saves me the frustration. And like I said, having done that, the it's when holding the the weapons, is much stronger. I don't know, for some reason or other, I found that it was much better. So I would highly suggest for those who do this to glue it to the shoulder part to the arm. Okay, again, look at that, check that out. It's awesome. All that detail. And it works very smoothly. One thing I hate when moving these parts is hearing things crinkle and like that. But in this case, it's very smooth. So it's just amazing. Amazing. So really have to take your time in doing this. Okay, so that is it for the arm. Oh, see, there you go. That I said it pops out, but it can be popped in easily. So yeah, that's it for the arm. I'm going to show the leg articulation more with details that I'd missed previously. Okay, I'll be back. Thanks. Here we have the left leg. Okay. Oops. And you got your hydraulics, your whatever back leg that, you know, check that out, all the movement there. Then your heels. This also moves side to side. Forward, here again, here to obviously you can bend the knee. I just want to detail that I missed. Once you bent this, you could also push this up to open the vents. Woo! And when you bend the leg back, it closes it automatically. Check it out again. Let's do that again. Open it up. And then you bend. Closes. So yeah, that's cool. You see the wheels turn. Here's your gas can. Yeah, it's awesome. See that knees move. Check that out. Articulation there. And the details. That's pretty much what I wanted to show for the leg. Okay, that's it for that one. Okay, so these are just my final thoughts on this build. Certainly isn't for beginners. There's over thousands of pieces in this thing. It's great to work on. It just requires a lot of patience. If you're OCD, great. That's amazing, because, and if you can actually visualize what the manual is instructing you to do, that's great, because sometimes you have to do that because it doesn't outright tell you how to put these parts together. Be honest with you, I'm not a great fan of the tutorial. It's fine, but it could have been better, in my opinion. It wasn't as apparent as it could have been, and that's why it sometimes it took, just for a certain part, it took maybe a few minutes or so, whatever, in order to finally get what they were asking you to do with the part and how to connect it to the other parts. But other than that, what else is there? Yeah, again, I mentioned about gluing some certain parts that come off easily. Certainly do glue the parts that won't have nothing to do with the articulation of the model, because those certain parts will pop off, and that's the nature of a kit such as this. So, and like I said before, definitely glue the shoulder and the arm. Definitely glue those together. It just makes it so much better. It's much stronger, structurally speaking, and in terms of handling the weapons, it's so much better. I can't stress that enough. And if something just doesn't work properly or work as it should, by all means, do it over again, just so it'll work flawlessly. And this does work flawlessly. It's just it's smooth. It's smooth if when done correctly. Again, what other? I would have liked to have, again, putting lights on the matrix of leadership, but it is quite difficult to take that thing apart. Wear and tear, and also the battery life wouldn't be as long. So for me personally, it's not worth it, but for others, I mean, if you want to go through that sort of thing, by all means, go for it. But I really recommend putting eyes, having the eyes lit. It just adds a bit more to the kit. I mean, take a look at that. It's just great, and it's awesome, man. And honestly, if I were to make these other poses, I need at least I need a visual in order to imitate what others have in terms of pose. The hands is exactly as great as I want it to be. But in any case, those are my thoughts. I know you got wires here, but again, this is my secondary. I would have preferred no wires, but I had to, in terms of being practical, this was the way to go. And also, as I mentioned, I also have another solution. It's a plug instead of the battery. I also have an adapter. Instead of, I have a plug. It'll plug into this adapter here and straight to the electrical outlet. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Looks good. Alright, man, that's everything. This is Yolopark's Earth Mode Optimus Prime plastic model kit. This is from the Transformers movie Bumblebee, and this design is that it's based on Generation 1. I personally prefer Generation 1. It just looks better than what came out later. It just looks better for me. Simple is much better. Although I have to, the design from the Michael Bay movie looks good, but there's just too many parts. I know this has a lot of parts too, but it's just I personally didn't like how Megatron looked like in that movie, or Starscream. They almost look alike, actually. Those guys. I mean, almost could not tell them apart except for perhaps their size. I would have preferred Megatron looking like the Generation 1 look. Very distinct. But anyway, I'm digressing. We were talking about here Optimus Prime. Yep, that's it. Those are my thoughts. Small gripes here and there, but otherwise, it's an excellent kit to get. Would recommend it in a heartbeat. Thanks for watching.